Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. We have a treat for you today. We've got a double header. This is a T110E3. It's an American Tier 10 tank destroyer, and alongside it is an FV4005 Stage II, the British Tier 10 tank destroyer. And you're going to see the battle from both their perspectives, because the E3 is being driven by Marky 12 and the FV4005, disappearing into the distance there, is actually driven by his platoon mate, US prototype. Well, what can I tell you about the E3? Well, it was part of a project to build a tank destroyer along the lines of the T95, but without using a double set of tracks. It was actually going to have lighter armour on the sides and the rear, and it will be able to fit through the burned tunnel. Now, this map is steps. It's an encounter battle. Marky 12 has moved down to the corner, and I think we're looking at a Jaegeru just around the corner, Jagdpanzer E100. And Marky's looking off to the west because I think he thinks that that 50 TP over there is not going to be able to stand for very long. He's been stunned by the enemy Arty, and we're pulling back alongside that 50 TP. Well, that 50 TP over there on the west side has been hit. It's down to 71%. He's pulling back, and the enemy's in the cap. And US prototype has come up in his ship barn. He's having a look at the enemy as well. We've just lost our Type 4 Heavy, taken out by the enemy Arty, and pulling back. Now, it's got a 155mm gun, the E3. It is a fixed forward firing gun because it's basically the E3 is a non-turreted tank destroyer. So it's Tier 10. Top of the line, and he's pulling back. It's got a bit more mobility than the T95, obviously, because it's only got one set of tracks, not two. And from the front, it's a very, very strong tank destroyer. It's got very good armour. And there's the Jaegeru, fires around it, 746 right through the lower plate. Don't think the Jaegeru expected that. Pulling back a bit so the enemy can't return fire. Trying to get another shot in the Jaegeru. Somebody's still capping, but we've got team going there, so we don't need to worry about that for the moment. There's a 50 TP, and we put 779 through him, and bounce the return fire, 440. And there's another Jaegeru turned up. So we've got two Jaegerus on this corner, going for the lower plates. And yes, we get it through and bounce around in return. You can see the Jaegeru does 1,050 hit points of damage. Oh, and that one only managed to do 308 hit points of damage in return, but we did 708 to him. So nice exchange there. Now, reload time is 14.34 seconds. Oh, now he tried to go for the cupola there, but he was moving too rapidly, and therefore the shot went straight over the top of the Jaegeru. That was a wasted opportunity. Oh, but the Jaegeru just went down to US prototype. He took him out from the side. And there's the other Jaegeru, goes through the lower plate, 770 hit points, good shooting. A T32 bounces around for 320. Yeah, it's got the same 155mm AT T7E2 gun that you find on the T95. Oh, that one, yeah, he did hurt there. We didn't get the round through the Jaegeru, but he got it through us. It was a low roll, 1045, but not by much. You can see where our shell landed. Hit the cupola. And that's a kill shot. We got him at last. It did go through the cupola, that's this time. And now we've only got that 50 TP, and we bounce around from him. The T32 has been wiped out by US prototype. We're pulling forward. Can we get a shot on the 50 TP? Yes, we can. Oh, there goes the alert plate. Yep, got him. 721. There are only 2 enemies left on the enemy team. One's a 60 TP, the other's an ST1. And there's the ST1. Just ahead of us. Oh, enemy Arty. Was that? No, it's an Arty round from our side. Just went in and took the hit the ST1. He's been stunned. We're going over the top. We're going to go straight for him. And yes! 518 hit points. Takes him out of the game altogether. And in fact, the other enemy has been killed. So that's the end of the game for Marky. Now let's have a look at the replay from US Prototype's perspective. And we can play that right now. Just loading in. Okay, now we'll fast forward to the moment that the game has started.
Let's get this show on the road.
We don't need to because it has started. Now, US prototypes in the FV4005 Stage II. Now, this tank carries the 183mm gun, so it is capable of, firing the premium rounds, the squash head rounds, high explosive HESH. Now, basically, what that does is it acts like a little cowpat. It fires a round which squashes against the outside of the enemy tank and makes a cowpatch type shape, and then it detonates. And what it does is it peels off huge amounts of scabs from the inside of the turret, from the armor on the inside of the turret, which go flying around the turret at a very high speed, killing the crew. So it's very effective at taking out enemy tanks, but it is very expensive. The rounds are very expensive. And you can see here that US prototype is carrying now 9 rounds of AP and 10 rounds of HESH. And he's rejoining Marky. You can see those Jaegeroos off to the north and a T-32. Rather than climb that bank and expose himself, he is actually going to join Marky alongside him. The FV4005 actually has fairly weak armour around the gun, the turret armour. So it's part of the FV series of tanks and vehicles designed after the war. He fires one round in there. Unfortunately, he only does 119 hit points of damage with that HESH round. Now, 24 well, it was 24 seconds on the reload, but it's now gone up to 34 because he's still stunned there. As soon as he gets rid of the stun, it'll go back down to 24 seconds on the reload. There it is, 24.76. He's reloaded, and he's reloaded an AP round.
Permission to engage.
And he takes the Samur out the game just like that. 1001 hit points. The Samur's got very poor armour, but it's got a great gun and fantastic fire rate, but it's just got dreadful armour. And that AP round, that 183mm round, just went straight through the target. Now you can see that
Ready to fire.
US prototype, oh, he got 1,108 hit points of damage there on the ST1. Now you can see that US prototype's taken a big HESH round right through the top of the turret, and I think that came from the Jaegeroo. Now he's thinking about going up on that rise, and that's not a wise decision because if you go up there, you are exposing yourself to enemy fire. He was spotted, so it would be a bit dangerous. because as you go up over the rise, yeah, you give a free shot to the enemy, and I don't think you want to do that. Now the chassis of the ship barn. Oh, there's the Jaeger,
Enemy vehicle destroyed.
and he fires it straight through the side of the vehicle. 378 hit points, wipes him out. But he did take a round from the ST1 for 475, unfortunately. Not sure where that went through. Oh, yes, it went through the front. Yeah, that's awkward. He's still got 184 hit points left, so he can still fight. 9% of his health, that's all he's got. And he's got 2 kills so far. And Marky hasn't got any kills at all yet. Yes, the FV4005 is based on the Centurion Mark III, designed in the early 60s. It was tested and unfortunately the prototype was manufactured and it's now can be seen. Oh my god, he just wiped out the T32 there. 1,142 hit points of damage, nice shot. Yes, if you want to see this tank, you can actually see it's one of the guard gates at Bovingdon, and Marky's got 2 kills now. Marky just took out the 50 TP, and we're coming around the corner. There's still that SD1 there. So US prototype's got 3 kills. Marky's only got 2 at the moment, but if he can get another one, that will be a brothers in arms. Marky goes for it and he gets the ST1, and that concludes the battle. They've won, and it's a nice brothers in arms for them. So let's have a look at the end of battle stats, and we'll go with US prototype first because we've got his details there in front of us. Yeah, so he managed to get a 3rd class tanker in the FV4005 Stage II. He also picked up a 5 for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle. And of course he got a brothers in arms for managing to get 3 kills and be in platoon with somebody who also had 3 kills at the end of the battle. And they won. They both survived. So let's have a look at the team score. Well, he didn't get the highest damage. That went to Marky. Marky managed 5,608 hit points of damage. US prototype managed 3,748, and they were split by the M103, who managed 3,896 hit points. But when it came to kills, both Marky and US prototype managed to get 3 kills, so they pick up the brothers in arms. And when it came to base XP, the M103 managed to top both of them with 1,121 base XP, and then came Marky with 959. US prototype came in 4th with 790. So let's have a look at detail report for US prototype. He fired only 6 rounds from that 183mm gun. It's actually a 182.9mm, but only 6 rounds were fired. He got 5 direct hits, 4 penetration. I think the one shot that he missed was the one right at the start of the battle, which he fired almost blind at the enemy up the gully. But didn't get any result from. He did damage of 3,748 hit points. He received 4 hits from the enemy during that battle. 2 were penetrations, 2 were non-penetrations, and 1 hit was the start of splash damage. Now obviously you saw those 2 penetration shots. One went through the top of the turret, the other one from the ST1 went through the tracks right at the front. And his hit points at the end of the battle were very, very low. He blocked damage of 440 hit points. If those shots hadn't been stopped by his armor, he would most certainly have been dead. He managed to damage 5 of the enemy, which is 1/3 of the enemy team, and he killed 3 of the enemy, 1/5 of the enemy team, and he did damage assistance of 721 hit points. On a premium account, US prototype earned 46,424 credits, and after repair and ammunition resupply and consumables, he took away 5,403 credits. He also received 1,185 XP, got 237 because he was playing in the platoon, and so he took away 1,422 experience points altogether. But let's have a look at Marky and see how he worked out. Well, if we look at Marky's results, we can see that he picked up a second-class tanker in the T110E3, a shell-proof for blocking more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle, a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points of his own vehicle, a brothers in arms for getting at least 3 kills whilst in a platoon and surviving the battle, and lastly and best of all, he picked up the high caliber. He did the most damage in the battle overall, at least 20% of the enemy hit points, and we can see the targets that he hit there. In fact, it's funny enough, both of them, both Marky and US Prototype, both managed to kill one of the Jaegeroos. In fact, they got a Jaegeroo apiece, so very, very good work there. So we look at the team scores again. Yes, we saw this before. Marky getting the highest in damage. They both came joint top when it came to kills. And when it came to base XP, Marky was second with 959 and the US Prototype was 790. For Marky's details, well, he fired 10 rounds during that battle. He got 9 direct hits, 8 penetration. The one shot he missed was the one that flew right over the Jaegeroo's turret just as he drove forward and went into a dip. And so Marky was aiming just above the turret and the shells shot over the top of him. He did damage of 5,608 hit points overall, all of it closer than 300 meters. He received 8 hits from the enemy, 2 were penetration, 6 were non-penetration. A lot of those shells bounced off them, and that goes to show that the E3 has really got very good armor at the front, just like the T95. In fact, you know, it's just a smaller, more compact and faster version of the T95 without 2 sets of tracks. He did receive 1 hit as a result of splash damage as well from the enemy Arty. He blocked damage of 3,010 hit points overall. That's quite a lot. That's more than the hit points of his own vehicle. And he damaged 4 of the enemy and killed 3 of the enemy. He also did damage assistance of 274 hit points. On a premium account, Marky earned 66,786 credits, and after repair, ammunition resupply and consumables, he took away 28,825. Now, the main difference here between Marky and US Prototype is that US Prototype did use quite a lot of premium ammo, the Hesh ammo, whereas Marky didn't. He used mostly standard ammo, and that's why he was able to reduce his ammunition costs, and he came out the battle with a much better credit value. He also received 1,439 XP, 288 for playing in a platoon, and that brought his total to 1,727 experience points altogether. So a pretty good teamwork battle, really, all in all. And it did help a lot that US Prototype went around the rock to fire at a different angle. So when the enemy were focusing on Marky, because obviously he had the more dangerous tank to them, because obviously he was able to withstand any shot they fired at him at the front league, they couldn't penetrate him. US Prototype was able to shoot into their sides, and he managed to get the weak side armor of the Jaegeroo and take him out the battle very easily, as well as wiping out that Samura SM in one shot, which was pretty devastating, really, if you think about it. So if you enjoyed this replay, this double header, please give it a like and do subscribe to our channel, and hopefully it'll be your replay that I'll be featuring in the next video.